for six. What a shot that is.
Ready. Hey guys, this is another episode of The Yorker, and in this episode, we're going to talk about the Kumilla Victorians, the champions of 2015. Just as a background of the team is owned by the BCB CEO Mustafa Kamal and his family. So the team first came into BPL into 2015, and that was the first time they came in, and they were the champions of the team. So after that, they had the 2016. They were knocked out in the first round, and in 2017 they did made it to the playoffs. But there's a high expectation from this team just because of the fact that they spent a lot of buck on this team. So the main icon player from Bangladesh is Tamim Iqbal for Kumilla Victorians, and they had a lot of big foreign signing as well on the form of Steve Smith, Shoaib Malik, and Shahid Afridi. So that looks very solid. And from the other local players of Anamul Haq, Saifuddin, and Abu Haider, who are also very promising young T20 players for our national team. So looking at the team itself, the top order, I think they have the strength of this team is the big foreign players, which in the form of Steve Smith, Shoaib Malik, and Shahid Afridi. So these are very experienced T20 campaigners who have played in all over the world. So I think they have a very strong middle order from number 4 to 6. But the weakness of the team, I think, lies in the top order. Tamim Iqbal is not the most prolific T20 opening batsman in this format. So his strike rate could be a lot better. I think he's averaging around 110 strike rate in the T20 international, which is not good at this level for a player of his caliber. This is not good. We have seen like Liton Das, even Shomo Sharkar is better T20 opener than Tamim Iqbal. So he has to come up big and he has to show uh, promise to his talent in this format for his team, being the captain of the team itself. So Tamim Iqbal, Evan Lewis, and Anamul Haq would be my top three batsmen, and I think that's where their weakness lies because Anamul is still not in the pecking order of the national team yet. He has fallen a lot behind of Shomo and Liton Dash. And also their bowling is very inexperienced. It's mainly made up of local promising young bowlers, but they don't have a lot of experience in the terms of Abu Haidar, Saifuddin, Ziaur Rahman. So they have some experience, but they lack the experience of the other franchises such as Mashrafi or Shakib or those players. So my top 11 would be I would start with Tamim Iqbal, Evan Lewis, who is also a very good player from the West Indies, and Anamul Haq. And then I would go into Steve Smith, Shoaib Malik, and Shahid Afridi. So Smith, it's going to be very interesting to see him playing be back in the spotlight after the whole controversy within Australian team. So so he has been playing in local leagues in Australia. He's been popping up here and there, but this is gonna be he has a very point to prove in playing in this uh, globally televised tournament such as PPL. And then Shoaib Malik has been playing for Pakistan for a very long time. He has been a key player, a player that can win the matches from either by his batting or by his bowling. Shahid Afridi, I think, even though age caught up to him, but I think he's still a very good player in this format. He can strike the ball, he can just stand and hit the ball for six, and his leg spin, which is arguably leg spin or like medium pace, I would argue, but it's very effective in this format. Then at number 7, I would go with as I have the four foreign players at the top with Evan Lewis, Shoaib Malik, Steve Smith, and Afridi. Then this leaves us with a lot of local pairs, tail order and the bowling department, Ziaur Rahman. So he is a very bulky, very powerful T20 batsman who had a lot of promise. So I think on his day he can also hit a lot. So and he can also bowl a bit. So that's going to be very interesting to see. And then Saifuddin, who has been playing regularly for a T20 team, T20 national team now. So he can also bowl. He has a good slower ball, and he can also whack the ball a bit. So number 8, and Abu Haider is a very promising, very effective left arm bowler. So I think at number 9, and he can also bat a bit. At number 10 and 11, I have Mohammad Shohid. So he is known to be a more like a longer format, test format bowler, but just for the lack of options, he has to be there. So Mohammad Shohid and number 11, just for the option for a spin, I have Musharraf Hossain. So he is also very experienced in our Dhaka League, in also our National League as well. So I think he will, just for the sake of having a left arm spinner, a slow left armer. So Musharraf Hossain will come in at number 11. So it has a good balance of seamers and spinners. So we have Musharraf, Afridi, Shoaib Malik bowling the quota of like 10 to 12 overs. And if Saifuddin, Abu Haidar, Muhammad Shohid can pitch in for the rest of the 8 overs, they have a good balance. So overall, I think Kumila Victorians have a very balanced team. So the local players has to step up. I think Tamim Iqbal and Anamul Haq has to lead from the front at the top order, and I have very high confidence in the strong. I think probably the strongest middle order, I would say, in the form of Steve Smith, Malik, and Afridi, and the bowling. If they can put up a good score, I think the bowling can probably restrict the opponent for that with that score. So I think they will go far. I think they will make it to the playoffs. And just because of the fact that they spend a lot of money on Steve Smith, so there is a very high expectation from these foreign players. So that's my overall overview of this team. Do you guys have any questions or?
Yeah, I mean, just a comment, really. I'm really excited to see Anamul Haq play because we all remember the one good BPL Liton had, and ever since then, people have been on his case, knocking on the
Mhm.
door, and he finally got in the national team. So I think there are a bunch of Bangladeshi players who will be eyeing this tournament, and one of them will be Anamul Haq.
Right.
And man, yeah, he has got a recently has adopted this kamikaze style. He just comes out all flying. His head loses shape, but he's going after the ball. So,
Kamikaze, I like that. Yeah, he is like lives by the sword, dies by the sword. So
yeah.
that sort of style. Even though most
Also,
often than not, he dies by the sword. He barely lives.
No, let's hope for the best for him.
yeah. No, from the foreign players, I was just gonna add someone that I think will play a pretty big role if when he gets a chance. It's probably Tisara Pereira. Uh, he was really instrumental for Rangpur's campaign last year. He can he's a very handy bowler, and he can bat really well too.
Yeah, I was
So
debating between him and Afridi, but the fact that I think Afridi is more consistent than Tisara. So that's why I think, of course, they will try their bench strength as well.
yeah,
So he will come in
they
and
will.
play.
Yeah, exactly.
He will come in and play a couple of the games.
And I think Shoaib Malik is not going to be available for the entire duration either. So that's probably where Tisara is going to get some games.
Okay.